Hey mamas, I am so excited for today's video. I'm going to be sharing with you some of the curriculum and resources that we are going to be using for our rising first grader. I am totally shifting my educational philosophy, and so a lot of what I'm going to share with you, yes, is curriculum and books and resources, but the way that I want to approach it this year is completely different. So let me start off by sharing some of our kind of book set curriculum that I've purchased. And as I go through each of the resources and each of the books, I'm also going to be showing you a brief flip through so you can see what's inside. Okay, so for the first set, or I guess it's called a boxed curriculum that we purchased, is the Foundations, Logic of English Foundations Level B. And if you've been following me for the last 7 or 8 months, I have been talking about this nonstop, and in fact, I am planning to do a curriculum review video for you so that you can understand not only why I love it so much, but also, weighing the pros and cons of this curriculum as well. The reason why I wanted to keep going with Logic of English is because it has served us so well. It's a highly interactive curriculum, so it really does provide a lot of those hands-on and kinesthetic engagement for the child. And it's not just about those things. It really does touch on different types of learners. So whether your child is a visual learner, an oral learner, kinesthetic, it really does have good activities for each of those different types of learners. So I find myself with my daughter who previously did this level, we kind of skipped around sometimes because I knew that some of the activities were more catered to the type of learner she is, and others maybe weren't, or maybe I tweaked some of those activities for her. So that's why I love it so much. It's very flexible, it's very engaging for the child, and you can kind of pick and choose the activities that you want to do with them. Oh my gosh, so I just finished filming and I looked outside of my door, and lo and behold, some of the things that I've been waiting for are finally here. This is for my rising third grader. I'll talk about that in my next video, but we are definitely going to be using Explode the Code, and it's something that we have been using for both of my kids. And this is level 1. It's very straightforward, focuses on CVC words, and does it in different contexts. So she looks at the picture, she has to circle the appropriate word, and it has very simple directions. So it's easy for her to kind of figure it out over the course of time. And they also have sentences here that she has to figure out which picture it matches, different things like that. This has worked so well for us over the past couple of years, and she's really been enjoying the levels that have led up to this one. So I know this will be very helpful for her to do. Now on to our math curriculum, and we're going to be using Singapore Dimensions Math, which is something, again, that's not really new for us. We've been using this curriculum for the past couple of years. And for my rising fourth grader, we have level 1A and 1B. The reason why I chose this curriculum in particular, and I haven't moved away from this company, is because I really like how straightforward it is. It's very minimal as far as all the pictures. These are things that I've mentioned in past videos, and it just works for us. It's like, when you're dating somebody and you kind of try to figure out if this is going to work out or not. And as you grow closer to them, you realize yes, I'm connecting with this person and I am starting to fall in love with this person. That's kind of what it's been for me and this curriculum. So our enjoyment of it and our love for it has grown over time. And so we are not breaking up with this curriculum. Now, as I go through the rest of all of these books and resources, I want to again emphasize the fact that yes, we are using some boxed curriculum, but I'm treating all of these things on the same playing field. So everything is really important for us to tap into as we continue to learn and grow in our homeschool. The next couple of resources are going to be along the lines of math, and I've shown some of these before to you, but the first one is building thinking skills. This is something that I picked up mid-year with my kids, and this is all about exercising critical thinking in a number of areas. So similarities and differences, writing skills, vocabulary, classifying, describing analogies, so on and so forth. And it cross-cuts a lot of different subject areas. So I really do like that. So on the cover, it does talk about math, science, social studies, how it does go through all of those things, but focuses again on those critical thinking skills. One thing that I didn't figure out until like a couple of weeks ago is the fact that you can actually tear out the pages. This sounds so ridiculous because you would think that I would have noticed this ahead of time. So tearing out the pages, this is a book that my rising third grader is going to still be using. And you can tear out the pages so that it's a lot less overwhelming to go through each chapter. The reason why this is important is because it was not only overwhelming for me to see like a thick book like this and have to be like, oh my gosh, we have to dive into this book, but it was also very overwhelming for my child. And I thought this was such a good idea, just to take out each of the chapters that we're working on so it's way more digestible for them and it doesn't look as intimidating to work on. Another fun resource that we will continue to use is Mindbenders, and these are fun deductive thinking skills puzzles, and I've talked about them again before. Another one is this maze book. So this is the big book of mazes for kids, and my rising first grader really loves to do things like this. So it has a lot of really good, like, challenging puzzles, because I honestly did get her another maze book. I actually recently tossed it because she did all of the mazes super fast. And so this one I thought would be great because it poses a lot more challenging mazes for her to go through. And this is something fun that, you know, will stimulate her brain. And I know that she's going to enjoy it because she really loves to do those mazes. On to spelling. So this book was a gem, and I'm so excited that I found it. It's called Sight Words and Spelling Workbook, and it's by Modern Kid Press. I saw this and I thought it was so well done for kids to practice their sight words and spelling their sight words. So like a lot of other curriculum and workbooks, this one is broken down into units, and they're very simple. They're only a couple of pages long, so they're very digestible for not only the student, but the teacher. This next book is something that I'm actually going to be using for my rising third grader and my rising first grader, and it's called The No Nonsense Guide to Grammar, an awesomely fun guide to the way we use words. I was so excited when this came because it's super simple. I don't like curriculum or resources or books that are really complicated. So I just thought this was such a good book to tap into because it just simply tells you the different parts of speech on each page. It gives you examples of it, and that's it, you know, and then you can kind of decide what you want to do to help your child to practice that. And my child is definitely a worksheet kind of girl. So I think what I'm going to do is tap into Teachers Pay Teachers to download some worksheets, because that's what she really enjoys doing. She loves like me giving her the clipboard of her little worksheet that she's gonna do for this particular subject. So I think that's what I'm gonna do as far as like practicing the actual topic. The next couple of books are simply goodies. Goodies that I got for not just my first grader, but for all my kids. And the first one is called Merriam-Webster's Word of the Day. I've been looking for something like this for my kids for a while now because I just thought it would be so fun to incorporate, not just in our day in kind of a random way, but to incorporate in maybe our morning time and also our writing center. So we're kind of building like a writing station, a writing center back in the corner over here behind me. And this is a book that I want to kind of keep out and just flip the pages, you know, when the day changes. and have them like read about the definition, or I read it to them, and try to use the word in a sentence. I don't know. So we're just gonna have fun with this, and just to give you a few examples, let's see. On April 19th, the word is salinity, the amount of dissolved salts in water or another liquid. And it gives you kind of like some stats on where this word can be used. And some of the other words also have like different historical context to it. So this one, oh my gosh, I have to think about how to pronounce this. So this is kibosh, something that serves as a check or stop, usually used in the phrase, put the kibosh on. In 2016, the Alaska Department of Transportation put the kibosh on pictures of mermaids and fish that had been painted on crosswalks in the village of Haines. So I love that. I love that they give you that context. And it also it's super colorful, and it has really cute characters displayed on different pages. The illustrations, I think, are so well done for this book. I have 2 more books for you. So the first is the National Geographic Kids World Atlas. And this is something that I purchased from, I think it was Book Outlet, one of those websites where you can get books for a really, really good price. I wanted to get it because we started to really get into studying maps. Recently, I have maps inside of each of their morning binders. And so as we had been learning about people in history, where particularly in the United States, we started to color all the different parts of all the different states that those people were from. So that's an activity we're going to continue to do as we incorporate more social studies into our work. But I thought it would be so fun to just kind of like put this out there for them to explore as they see fit, as they're curious about the world and where everything is. And I also have one for the United States. I am so glad that you were able to join me today. I'm so glad that I was able to finally talk about some of the curriculum and resources that we're using in our homeschool. I hope this video was helpful for you. Take care, be blessed, and I'll see you in the next one.